Okay, it's movie talk. Moonstruck. I'm sure you know of it because it's got Cher, Nicolas Cage. And the idea of back then in the 80s, 90s, whatever it was, are just a little crazy, okay? So Moonstruck, the premise of the movie, let me tell you a little bit about it. So Cher, she gets engaged to this guy she's known for 20 years. She doesn't love him, but she wants, her second chance because her first one was all bad luck, okay? Whatever. So her fiance tells her, will you call my brother because he's leaving out of the country. And so he wants to call his brother. So he has her call him and tell him, because they've been fighting for 5 years, or they haven't been talking for 5 years. So she calls him up, okay, and she invites him to the wedding. He gets all pissed, like, no, I don't want to go to the wedding. I'm still not talking to my brother, and I'm not gonna talk to you, and I'm not gonna go to the wedding. Okay. So he gets all pissed. He hangs up on the phone, okay, and she goes to his job. She goes to his job. She walks in, okay. He's all shoveling there with his sweating everywhere, and glistening, whatever. Then he continues to tell her that he came over to his job 5 years ago. He came over, and while they were talking, then he was doing something, and then his hand ended up getting chopped off. Okay, so he blames his brother for that, for distracting him. And now his hand is chopped off. And at the time he had his fiance, and she left him because she didn't want a husband with a little chopped off hand. Okay, so he gets all mad again, and she's like, well, come on, let's talk about this. Let's just is there some place we could go so we could talk about it? And he's like, okay. So they go upstairs to his apartment. Okay, upstairs to his apartment. They go upstairs, and she cooks him some food, whatever, a nice big steak, and continues to tell him, like, hey, that's stupid of you to blame your brother for getting your hand chopped off. He was just talking to you. You can't just blame somebody for talking to you. He's like, well, why are you marrying my brother? And she's like, well, I'm marrying my brother because the first marriage I had, it was bad luck, so I'm getting a second chance, and I want to take that second chance. So he's like, that's stupid, and he throws the table over, pulls her up, and just kisses her right there. After he does that, she's all mad, getting all flustered, about to pull away, and of course, she's like, well, what the fuck? She continues to kiss him back, and they get it on, of course. I mean, it was only a matter of time up in their apartment having whiskey. I mean, come on. So yeah, they get it on, and the next day in the morning, he's like, I think I love you. I think I'm falling in love with you. Excuse me. What? The next day? Okay. So she slaps him across the face, like I would too. Somebody said that to me the next morning. Okay, so she slaps him across the face, and she says, this was a big mistake. I'm going home. Don't come to the wedding. Don't call us. Just leave us alone. And he says, but I can't do that. I'm in love with you. And he's like, come on. And she's like, no, don't come to the wedding. And he's like, okay, fine. I won't come to the wedding. I'll get out of your life as long as you come with me to the opera tonight. I'll leave you alone. And she's like, okay, fine. I'll do that. And you better leave me alone. And so they go to the opera. She gets all fancy, gets her hair done nice and pretty. She has these beautiful shoes, these high heels. She's got the dress going on. She just looks beautiful. And of course, he looks gorgeous. It's Nicolas Cage when he was young, of course. So they go to the opera. Beautiful, wonderful time. They get back. Of course, they go back to his apartment, and they get it on again, okay? Whatever. Then the next morning, she goes home with her mom. She lives with her mom and her grandpa and whoever else lives all there. Her mom tells her that Johnny, her fiance, was there last night or in the morning, and he wanted to talk to her. And so they hear a knock at the door. They go, and it's Ronnie, Nicolas Cage, and he's like, I'm here. So let's just hang out, have breakfast. Like, what's for breakfast? Here I am. I'm here. And she's like, you can't be here. Anyway, he ends up just eating breakfast, getting his mom serves him some oatmeal. So they have breakfast. Johnny finally gets there, and he gets inside the dining room table where everybody's sitting. And he's like, I gotta tell you something. And he's like, I can't marry you anymore. My mom's much better now. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. So I can't marry you anymore. Okay. You know, nowadays everybody like, thank what? Thank God. Like, this is a miracle, a blessing. Yes. Great. Thanks for telling me. No. She gets all pissed off. What do you mean you can't marry me? What are you breaking your commitment? You just, like, what does this ring mean to you? Nothing? She gets it and throws it at him. She's, okay, fine, whatever. And then, of course, right as she throws her ring, Ronnie, Nicolas Cage, he turns to her. Loretta, will you marry me? Excuse me, what? She gets all frustrated. You don't even have a ring. And then he turns to his brother, Johnny. Johnny, can I borrow that ring? So he gives him the ring that she just threw at him. So then he asks her again, will you marry me? She says, of course I'll marry you. And then they all celebrate and have a good time. So the name of the movie might have been the thing, you know, Moonstruck. She got Moonstruck. I don't know. It happened all within 24 hours. So I don't know. Maybe there was a spell that was cast on them that they fell in love that soon. But and don't get me wrong, I loved the movie. I loved it. I love Cher, you know, and Nicolas Cage. Oh, it was a great movie. But the ideas of love, I'm hoping it was just, you know, they would cast a spell from the moon, obviously. But either way, it was a good movie.